Right, another quick update on the lifeboat. As you can see, I've now completed all the wiring. I've soldered all the wires together as well, because like I said, not only am I lighting virgin, I'm a soldering virgin as well. Let me just tip this on its side. That's the set of wires that are coming down. That's powering the light in the front cabin. It's going through there and down there. And then you've got the actual, the hatch that leads down to the engine room. I've decided not to put that clear part in. I've decided to make use of the other LED. So that LED will actually light up the rear cabin as well. I've taped it down and glued it down. I've put a bit of filler in there just to hold it into place along with the glue, just to give it a bit of extra security. And now I'm just going to flip that switch, because I'm going to hide all this underneath the CD armour base that I'm going to build, because I didn't want to put it in the hull with the battery pack and everything, because I'm not going to be able to get the battery out and replace it and all that lark. So you can see that I've drilled 2 holes for the red and the black wire, and I'm now going to demonstrate what this looks like in the dark. So I'm going to push my little switch, turn this round, wait for that to brighten up a bit, and then turn the light off. And as you can see, my camera's probably not the best thing in the world to get this to show up, but you can see that the interior is all lit up, not bad at all. I mean, I thought with the black in the inside of the cabin, I thought it was going to dull down the light a little. I was thinking maybe I should have bought the actual strobe, more strobe of a light, but it ain't too bad at all. Not bad. I also had an issue with a bit of light leak on the bottom of the deck, because there was a slight gap. So what I've done, switching the light back on, is I've filled that in with a bit of filler, and I've obviously got to paint that in the orange. But you can see all the way through, even with the light off. Actually, you can see actually better with the light on. There you go. All the interior's lit up. So that sheeting that I used to replace the windows, this is a hell of a lot better than the actual lenses that get supplied with the kit. So it's now time to glue the deck into the hull. Stay with me.
It's working! It's working!
Right, okay, welcome back. As you can see, the deck is now glued into the hull. Now, what it is the hull, I had to pop it into place like a snap tight kit, especially around the step areas here. It's quite tight, so I had to like open the hull slightly to get it in, and then popped it into place. And I glued it up to about here on both sides, and then taped the back down. And once that dried, I then went with the rest of the glue around the front. Again, open it slightly to pop it into place. It kept trying to pop out a couple of times, but it managed to go in eventually. The only trouble is at the back, it's actually popped out slightly. You can probably just make it out there. It's popped out slightly, so there's a little lip. I've tried to pop it back in, but the glue's dried and I can't get it to go back in. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to put a bit of black on that little lip there to make it look like it's the hull. And you can see that I can't use clamps on it. My clamps, there's no flats. There is a bit at the back, but my clamps are too big. So I've just had to pop it into place and then hold the tape down as best I could when I stuck it down. And it looks like it's held. But the only trouble is, there's a few crusty bits around the edges where the glue's dried. So I'm going to have to sand those down and retouch them up. But I think it looks really nice. Not too bad at all. Stay with me. Right, welcome back. As you can see, I've been hard at work on the railing. Now the one thing I'm going to say, cutting these off the sprue was very delicate indeed and a pain in the arse. So one thing I'm going to say, a little tip for you, get one of these Swan Morton knives or a very sharp craft knife. Because like I said, cutting this lot off a sprue, if you're going to use your normal cutters, like I've got, they're going to snap on you. So, like I said, get one of these Swan Morton knives. I picked this up for £4 from work, because my work sells them. And they come with 5 10A blades. So this is an absolute gem when cutting this off the sprue. Anyway, you can see that I've started work on the upper command deck. So I've put that railing in with the backrest for the driver that stands there. And widening the hole slightly, but not going through the actual roof with my 0.7mm bit. Glued those in. I also glued in the 2 side pieces at the back there. There's one there. Painted the actual railing in the black. And then gluing this top support, which is going to be where all the mast and all the various radar pieces go on. Pinching those out slightly to get that in. And you can see it's slightly bent because there's like some little indentations on the actual square piece. Just glue that in with a bit of super glue and a bit of model glue, just strengthen it. So that's all done. Then came the railing, hence why I use a Swan Morton knife to cut them off a sprue. And then just widen those holes again. Don't go all the way through the roof, because like I said, that'll have all the little bits inside and I don't want that. And then I just put a drop of glue in each hole and then let it dry. Actually trying to line them all up in one go was a pain in the arse, and one kept trying to pop out, but I managed to get there in the end. And you can see it's looking really nice. And then you got that bit of railing there as well, and then you got the railing that sits down the side there. Not too bad. I've also put the crane arm in as well. Just widen that hole slightly that's in there, because a bit of the paint actually got on the. Probably should have masked off the little mounting peg, but I widened that slightly and it went in. Then you got these little railings around the side here. Now, Big Dave told me on Brick Modeler that he couldn't get his all the way around, so he used a bit of brass wiring. I think the reason why he couldn't get it all the way around is because you had a little mounting notch that's built onto the actual railing that mounts in there and mounts in there. It's supposed to be mounted in 4 times, so you got that mount, that one, and that one. But what I did is I cut them off and they actually went round. So it's only there and there they're glued in. Same as on the other side as well. Like I said, I just used a Swan Morton knife and just nicked them off. Then you got this railing at the back here. Again, widening the hole slightly, but not going all the way through, and just glued those in. Now comes the most difficult part, this railing. In between each of those white sections is like a little V shape. When you come to take these off a sprue, again, get one of these. Cutting them off, especially around the bottoms there with the excess, it was a pain in the arse, but I managed to get all the excess off and managed to make a V shape, and those mounted in really, really nice. Not bad at all. So just put a drop of glue in between each of those V shapes, and they're dried solid. Same as this side, all the way down. In the V shapes. Now you can see there's a bit missing there. That actually came off the sprue. That wasn't my fault. It just came off the sprue, and that little piece is there. You can see it's white where that's black. Because originally I actually painted on with a spray paint on the sprue, and you can see there's bits of white missing. That's just where I've gone with the Swan Morton knife again, cutting off the excess. Right, and then you got this railing here. Now you've got 4 mounting points, as you can see. Again, with my 0.7mm bit, just widen them. Now with this one, best thing for you to do is glue that bit and glue that bit in, wait for it to dry, pull them out slightly, put a drop of glue in there, and then glue them in. Because if you try and do it all in one, much like on that railing, you'll have one of them pop out on you. So just do those 2 first and then do those 2 second. And then last but not least in this lengthy update is the front railing. Again, widening the holes slightly, but not going all the way through. Just put a bit of drop of glue in each one, because that's one piece and that's one piece. And then, last but not least, once you've glued those in, you get those little two pieces to meet there. You can see that that one is slightly lower than that one, but I'm not really bothered about that. I'm just glad it went together. With the lengthy update complete, it's now time to start work on the rear railing. Stay with me. Right, just another quick update for you. As you can see, I've now put the rear railing into place. And unlike the little notches there, those V notches, these are like square rectangular notches. But the only trouble is, I had to widen them slightly, so I just got my little knife and just like chop, and then just made them slightly wider. All the way up and all the way around, and they're glued in really well, not bad at all. So you got that one and that one, and then you got two corner pieces, and then you got the back piece here, which has a railing of its own. That railing there has to be glued onto the back, so that's all done. The trouble being, you can see that this back railing here is slightly higher than that. I don't know why, because I mean there's only like a little tiny notch there and a little tiny notch there, and I tried drilling a hole to widen it, but it still wouldn't sit level. So I'm not really bothered about that. That's sitting up there slightly above. I'm not really bothered about that at all. And the glue's all lovely and dry, and this is rock hard now. So now I can start getting ready for like the deck detailing now. But so far, this railing, not too bad at all. Stay with me. Right, a bit more work on the lifeboat has now been done. I've done all the deck work. So basically what I've done is I started with a capstan head, number 30. Now, there's only one capstan head in the kit. It's not missing, it's just one. So you have to contact Airfix to get a new capstan, because you've got one there and one at the back there. I was warned about that from Big Dave, so thanks to Big Dave for that. So a couple of days later that arrived. I've just painted that in silver and then the mount in black. Then you've got these two little L-shaped uprights there with the orange tips, so those are black. Now on the plans it tells you to glue one there and one there, but there isn't a hole. But there's actually two holes there. Looking at some photos, that's the correct positions. Then you've got the tie-on mount, which is black and silver around the bottom there. That's glued in. Now when it's moored, some ropes would feed off there, through there and down. So that article there is now glued in. That's black. I'm sorry about my nautical terms. I don't really know nautical terms that much. Now the one thing I want to point out is this bit here. It was a raised hole with nothing to put in it. But after studying some more photos, actually that's supposed to be some kind of utility thing. I don't know what it's for. And it's basically covered in some like orange tarpaulin. So I got a bit of sprue, rounded it off, glued that in, and then you can see that it looks like it's got some cover on, so I painted that in orange. Then you've got this, whatever this is, I think it might be some called alternative anchor. You've got that piece there and then the L shape, glued that, painted that white and glued that down. You've got this thing here, that's white, that's just glued in, I don't know what that's called. And then you've got the anchor, so you've got a mounting up right there. Then you've got a rod, which mounts up slightly higher than there's actually a notch sticking out of the mounting arm. And you just rest it on there. And then the anchor goes between the mounting upright and the railing, as you can see. And I just put a drop of glue there, drop of glue there. Then you've got the tie-ons, so you've got one there, and one there. And one there, one there, and one there. 6 altogether, painted that in silver. So that's that done. So that's the front area of the deck done. I've also topped up on the black areas where there was a little bit of white, and where was that bit missing? I think it was there. I've glued that back into place, and then, like I said, just painted it in black, and it's blended in really well. Then you've got the rear part of the deck. You've got them L shapes, them L rods with the orange bits there, so those are on. And you've got the flotation devices, I think that's what they are. So I painted those in white and just masked the lines off in red, and those are done. And then you can also see that I've done the life rings. Now they're mounted onto a bracket with 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4 in like a triangular shape. Now I didn't trust the glue to hold them by itself, so I just fed some white thread all the way through a couple of times and then just glued those on. And then the glue seeped into the actual thread, and those are on really secure. Last but not least, the clear windows at the top from the top command area. So I glued that one in first at an angle. You have to push it in to get it at the right angle with some glue and glaze. Let that dry, and then put these two on at the same time. And I've painted those with the Revel orange. It's not a 100% match, but it'll do. So this is now all ready for decals. Stay with me.